afternoon, sports can move you. As simple as that. Men defying the odds, the limits of what it means to be human. The right game, the right event, add a little bit of music and bam. Tears in your eyes, you're ready to face any battle. Stand up to any challenge. You're inspired, motivated, amped up. So let me take you back to the 2005 Champions League final. Liverpool was playing AC Milan, and when the ref whistled for half-time, Liverpool was losing 3-0 against Milan, one of the best defensive sides in soccer. And yet, this is the sound that you could hear in the stadium during the intermission. This is the sound of the Liverpool fans, although they are down and seemingly out, singing "You Will Never Walk Alone," trying to get their team to come back to the second half inspired, trying to get them to still believe they could win. So, a few minutes later, 53 minutes into the game, the captain of Liverpool, Steven Gerrard, finds his way into the penalty area. The left back has the ball on the left wing. He crosses to the penalty area. Steven Gerrard jumps in the air and heads the ball into goal. 3-1. It's still impossible. But Gerrard believes, his fans believe, so Gerrard scores the goal, and immediately what he does is he gets his colleagues to go get the ball from inside the goal, asks them to bring it back to the center of the field. He wants to get back, and he goes like this. He goes, "Come on!" And that gesture, that moment, you knew something was going to happen. 60 minutes into the game, the score was 3-0. In 6 minutes, Liverpool scored 3 goals, they got back into the match, and now it's a brand new ball game. It goes into overtime, and I see another thing that inspired me, another thing that I will never forget. Jamie Carragher, he is one of the assistant captains, he's the centre back of Liverpool, and he is cramping up at this point. He wasn't a young man anymore, and trust me, I know about that. And he was just doing everything he could to help his team. But he was in pain. But Liverpool didn't have any more subs. And he wanted to be there, he was their best defender. So cramping up, I saw him in pain, sprinting to get to a ball, cut it. He conceded a corner kick, and he was basically screaming because his muscle was not in place, but he managed to do that. Man defying the odds, the limits of what it means to be human. Liverpool went on to become European champions that evening. They won in the penalty shootout in what was one of the most amazing, exhilarating, and exciting soccer matches I have ever watched. And to this day, I remember it like I was there, as you can plainly see. The man that stands before you is a sportsaholic. Admittedly, I'm a sports geek. I love sports. All I want to do is play sports, every day, all day. And as a young man, when I wasn't playing sports, I was watching them. Anything. I would play soccer, tennis, volleyball, hockey. You name it, I would play. That's what I wanted to do. So, being such a fanboy, you'd expect me to have my idols. Men and women that I admire, that motivate me, that inspire me. And there are so many I could choose from. Michael Jordan, the man that made us question if humans could actually fly. In Zimbayeva, the woman that did actually fly, over 5 meters, to become the greatest woman pole vaulter of all times. Sidney Crosby. He is world champion, 2-time Olympic champion, 2-time Stanley Cup champion, possibly on the way to another final. And he was the first man in history to lift all of these trophies as the captain of his side. Michael Phelps, do I even need to say anything? The golden man of the Olympics. 23 gold medals. Arguably the greatest swimmer of all time. Usain Bolt, the fastest man alive. The man, the sprinter, that did what was seemingly impossible. He won the 100 and 200 meter gold for 3 consecutive Olympics. That's 12 years of dominating a sport, sprinting. And I could have listed so many other. All of these are athletes that define what it means to be successful. I could go on. Messi, Ronaldo, Hamilton, Serena Williams, all athletes that define the modern age of sports. Or maybe some of their late 80s, early 90s counterparts, and yes, some of you might not know these names as well. Hopefully you know all of them because they're pretty famous still. Because these were the guys that were inspiring when I was a teen, growing up, someone that admired athletes and looked up to sports. Let me put this into perspective for you. In 2008, me, my wife, and 3 of our closest friends went on one of those trips of a lifetime. We rented a car and we drove around Italy for 2 weeks. Rome to Venice and back. Problem was, well, for me, because nobody else had that problem, the dates that we all had available coincided with the Beijing Olympics. I was genuinely freaking out. I had never missed the Olympics in my life. Ever. Not since 1984 when I was a 5-year-old boy who would watch the games in bed with his grandfather. So, what am I going to do? I can't not watch the games, that didn't cross my mind. So, I take them. Yes, you heard that correctly. I taped the Olympics. And I don't mean I taped 1 or 2 events at the Olympics. I mean I literally taped the Olympic Games. All the events I could. When I came back from holiday, I had over 200 hours of video to watch. And so I did. For a week straight, I sat at home, on my sofa, in front of the television set. Everything locked, because I didn't want to know any of the scores. Yes, I'm a freak. I didn't want to know any of the scores. I locked myself inside a room, and I watched the games. For a week straight, that's what I did. And yes, I hear you loud and clear. What a waste of time. I even hear 1 or 2, what a waste of a life. And yet, I am so very much aware that I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for all the sports that I watched. And yet, having shown you all of these athletes, all of these amazing people, all of these guys and girls that define what it is to be successful, to be a champion, none of them had as much influence in who I became, who I am today, as much as this man. Derek Redmond. Now, it was 1992. The Summer Olympics were taking place in Barcelona, and of course I was watching them live at that time, not in Italy. And Derek Redmond was a 400-meter British runner. He arrived at the Barcelona Games as one of the favorites to win a medal. Maybe even challenge for the gold. Difficult, but could possibly happen. He qualified to the semifinals easily. He won all of his qualifying races. He gets the semifinal, the gun sounds to start the race, and he sprints to the lead. He is racing down track 5. He is ready to qualify to the final. Everything is going as planned. And suddenly, around 150, 200 meters into the race, something snapped. He grabbed his hamstring and crumpled to the floor. And just like that, his medal dream was over. His Olympic dream was over. 4 years of extremely hard work had just gone out the window. Redmond wasn't a kid anymore. These were surely his last games. And, actually, these were also his first games. Because in 1988, he was forced to pull out of the Seoul Games due to, fittingly enough, injury. A career plagued by injuries came to an end, fittingly enough, with an injury. It was over. Except, it wasn't. He got up. All other competitors had finished the race. For most people, there'd be no point. But Redmond got up. It was the Olympics. His last shot at them. He had to finish what he started, so he got up and he started limping down the track. His father was watching from the stands. He saw this. He stormed the track. He raced to his son, grabbed hold of him, and told him, "It's okay. You have nothing to prove. You don't have to do this. You can stop." But Redmond couldn't. He wouldn't. This is what they had to do. He was an Olympian. He had to cross that finish line. And so he did. Last, limping, in tears, in his father's arms. And to this day, I have never heard a bigger standing ovation in sports. You see, moments like Steven Gerrard going like this, "Come on," they come back to me when I play sports. I drive in a go-kart championship, and every time I'm lining up my go-kart on that grid, I think back to Gerrard. I think back to that "come on," and I say to myself, "Come on, I can win this." Even when I'm starting last, I still go, "I can win this. I can get there." But Derek Redmond standing up and limping across that finish line, that drives me every day. Today I consider myself successful. A success I found in theater. Look, doing what you love 24/7, that is my definition of success. To quote Macklemore, don't try to change the world. Find something that you love and do it every day. Do that for the rest of your life, and eventually the world will change. Now, mind you, I consider myself successful. It's great. I make a living out of theater. I still want to win the Nobel Prize for Literature. That is my goal. And I will keep working for it. I will keep trying my best. I will keep writing plays. But today, I know I have found success because I make a living out of theater. And I can tell you right now that that's all I can wish for any of you. For you to find something that you love and do it every time. From where I currently stand, it rocks. It rocks. I love what I'm doing. I love this. And I know very well that I owe Derek Redmond for a huge part of it. Why? Because I refuse to throw in the towel. When I devote my time, myself to a project, I finish it. And I try my best. And I mean my best. I go all in. I devote myself, my time. It's all I can think of. And I do everything in my power to get it. Because, guys, that's what I can control. What I do. How I behave. How I conduct myself. Will the project be successful in the end? I don't know. There are so many things that can happen. So many things that can influence every little thing in your life. But what you do, the effort you put into it, that you can control. What you do and how you do it. In 1992, watching Redmond limp across that finish line, I understood. The saying, failure is not an option. It is 100% accurate. Failure is not an option. Failure is a certainty. You will fail. I am sorry to disappoint you. We all do. We are humans. We all fall. We all fail. It is not failing or succeeding that defines you. It's how you fail. How you succeed. Getting a bad grade on a subject you really like. Missing the penalty shot that cost you the match. Not getting the role you auditioned for. It hurts. It really hurts. And the more you want it, the more you work for it, the more important it is for you, the more it hurts. But when you feel that pain, you still need to get back up. When you know that you were all in, that you gave it your all, and that now the pain is almost unbearable, and you still get back up, you still try again, you still do your best, you will inspire. You will make yourself better. You will make people better. You see, growing up, I felt that pain. I felt that pain every time I missed a soccer game. And I'm a sporting fan, so you know how many times I've lost. And if you're a sporting fan, you completely know how many times we've lost. The pain is bad. What you do with it? Man, the pain means you care. The pain means you gave it your all. The pain means this was important to you. And when the pain subsides, you will understand that the only things in life that really matter, the only things that really mean something to you, are the ones who gave it your all. Now, does that mean that if you try your best, you will always achieve what you want? No, of course not. But keep trying your best. Keep giving it your all. Learn from the falls. And trust me, sooner or later you will succeed. It may be in a completely different area, but you will succeed. And, speaking of different area, allow me to finish this story of success and failure by pointing out something that you may have noticed already. My success, I found it in theater, not sports. Now, sports and theater tend to be seen as mutually exclusive. They're not. Literature and sciences aren't mutually exclusive. Loving something like sports has absolutely no connection with your ability to love something like theater, music, law, writing, science, chemistry. As a young man, I had to find what it was that I loved and was really good at. I didn't find that in sports. I was never good enough to make it as a pro. I knew that. I found it in TV. So, if as a young man, I had locked myself inside a box, the box of sports in this case, if you will, I'm not sure I would have succeeded, with or without the example of Derek Redmond. If I had blindly persisted down that route, although I knew I was never good enough to play as a pro, although I loved it, if I had shut myself off from other experiences, I probably wouldn't be standing here right now telling you all this. Try it. Try hard. Do your best. Find what it is that you love. But find what it is that you can be successful at. Try it. The things that people tell you aren't for you because they're different from what you usually like. Try them first. Try. Experience life. Experience what you like. But try your best. Try. Try. Really try. Honestly, truly, deeply, with all of you, try. Try, and success will follow. Thank you very much.